to studio mode. There we go. Hey, we're live. Okay, give me a second.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tundra Nation live stream with me, your host, Tyler. 14 hours to Steve, Uncle Cushion, and Spicy McDude. Scotty takes over, Scott takes, you know him as the Pig Nation. And in hour 2, we play the initials. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and let's start the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Steve's not supposed to be on this screen. Oh my God. And fuck it, he's staying there because he's so goddamn good looking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show tonight, this afternoon, this evening, or this morning, or wherever you are in that beautiful place that we call the Tundra Nation. We're just going to put him right here for right now, so it's not too distracting. That jacket looks way too good, Steve. You have no right looking as beautiful as you do.
Right. I worked hard at it, baby.
You do work very hard. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We've got an excellent show for you tonight. Kind of a little impromptu, a little audible call right at the end, but we have an extra special guest joining us this evening. Let's go, Peel. 21 months on the sub, not getting rid of me anytime soon. He says, thank you for that support, that generosity, and most importantly, the loyalty, my friend. 21 months is a damn long time, and I appreciate you spending it with me, folks. I've got great news for you tonight. Number 1, it's Saturday. Number 2, I'm drunk already and having a grand old time. Woo! And
before the show, you see me, Tyler, stuffing food in our face. We're like, we're drunk already,
dude. I know. I've got a bowl. I got a bowl of chicky nudies here. And not the internet kind, like chicken noodle soup.
Are you in like a Kevin Smith's 90s comedy?
Chicky nudies?
Chicken nudies and snoochie boochies here.
Snoochie boochies. Well, before we do anything, Rick says, Tyler, Kenzie wanted me to tell you that she says good night, and I hope you have fun tonight, but I have to go to bed. Kenzie, cheers. Thank you for being the most legendarily awesome kiddo to or under 10-year-old to watch the stream. You are the best. Cheers. Probably good to go to bed though. Hey, let's get our extra special guest on because it's bedtime for her as well. You can see her in the background doing acrobatics, and I don't know if she even wants to come on the show. Do you want to come on, Ellie? No, hold on, don't force her. Do you want to come on, or do you want to say goodnight?
Uncle Scotty,
hey, hold on. Do you want to come on the show, or do you want to say goodnight? You want to come on? You want to sit on the floor? Can you wave to the chat and say, hey, dudes? All right, that's good. Say, hi, Mike. She's now posing. Hi. Yeah, exactly. Hi. Ellie, did you have fun today? Yeah, did you see the lights change? Okay. Here, come on, silly goose. Uh-oh. Are we going to be cranky, baby? Huh? You're not a baby anymore. You're 4. Hey, come here. Okay, here, no. It's time. You can sit on the floor. You can sit on the floor for a little bit, honey. Yep, Megan. Thank you. All right, well, folks, no Bean tonight. She's gonna hang out with us in the room for a little while, but yeah, you know how it goes when you if you've ever had a 4-year-old, you know exactly how this story goes. So
just cracking me.
Anyways, we got a hell of a show for you tonight. There's a guy sitting off screen right now. Very important.
Absolutely.
Very important, beautiful man that we are waiting to talk to, and I cannot wait to recap what we were doing this past weekend with him. About a week ago today, it all ended. It was all wrapping up, and we were getting, actually, no, it had wrapped up, and we were just starting the show. I was just hopping on with Scotty about this time.
That's right.
And yeah, we're excited to recap that and tell you exactly what happened, exactly what to expect, and a little bit later on down the line. But before we do that, Let's do a quick hello to Scotty. Party on, Garth, baby.
Party on, Wayne.
How you
Hello
doing
to
this
you,
week,
my
man?
friend. It's been a good week. It's been a great week. You know, you got a lot of holiday shopper people coming into the shop, hanging out. A lot of new people. It's very interesting. You know, it's
A lot of
people coming in.
nude people? What?
New.
That makes more sense now that I think about it.
New people. If they were new, they'd be.
I mean, it is California. Like, let's be honest. It would not be terribly far from par for the course.
Even the hippies aren't that crazy out here.
That's true.
But yeah. No,
have you ever just thought
actually...
about fighting fire with fire? Like if somebody just showed up naked to your door and started acting weird, just strip all your clothes off and helicopter deck them? Like, have you ever thought about that?
If I was equipped well enough to do a proper helicopter, I would probably.
You might
go for
take
that
off,
one,
dude. I don't know. I've heard stories. Anyways. Sorry, we're gonna have fun.
It's been a good week.
Steve's looking at the camera right now. You can't see him. He's like, why do I do this every Saturday? And Mike's like, they're one of us. We like these guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce them. We got Steve in the background. We got Steve in the background, and most importantly, this evening, we've got an extra special guest. Little Sandman 762 action goes by Mike Odell, and he works for a little. What company do you work for, Mike?
I don't know.
You may have heard of him.
Yeah, it's 4 letters. It's not the lesser known version that you were talking about last week.
Cats making machine guns. Cigars,
No,
martinis,
still
and
got it
machine
wrong.
guns.
You're getting warmer, maybe.
Dang it. Well, I'll tell you what.
CMMG.
One day we're gonna figure out what CMMG stands for, but unfortunately today is not this day. I have not successfully
Stands for
gotten Mike.
really cool on Steve's microphone right
There you go. There you go. And my hat. I'm wearing the hat you gave me
that's
just
good.
for you. Just for you.
Appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike. He works for CMMG, and more importantly, also importantly, he was our host last weekend for the big CMMG Tundra Tactical get together and shoot, and we had an absolute blast. It was a ton of fun. Mike, before we dive into the nitty gritty and the details of what we ended up doing, I have to say just publicly, you guys are fantastic. You specifically, absolutely legendary host. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for all of the fun stuff that we did. You gave me probably the greatest range day experience of my life. It was phenomenally fun.
And I can do better.
I know. That's the crazy part.
He's already like his entire writing staff and all his friends are already like the hate mail is thick on Tyler right now for the legendary.
You're talking about all my friends? Yeah, being like, dude, why did
everybody just saying we hate you?
I've got a list of Discord DMs that have said like to everything to the effect of like, you invited Mark and not me. Like,
yeah.
Come on, who's the Steve guy? I was like, guys, come on. What have you done for me lately?
Get good, people.
Yeah, exactly. Scrubs. No, I'm just kidding.
Aren't Steve and Mark the same? No.
Pretty much. They're both ridiculously good looking. And you can't not say that now that you've seen Mark in real life. That's, he's got one foot in the grave. He's like 56 years old and he looks that way. So, he's not really 56 years old. He's like something. But anyways, we had an absolutely legendary week. I'd love to recap that with you. You got a little time for us tonight?
Sure.
Excellent news, man. Well, if you guys didn't know,
or anything.
if you guys didn't know, last weekend I didn't do a whole lot of streaming, and the reason for that was I was down in good old Boonesville, Missouri, or Missouri.
I was wondering how you were going to say that one tonight.
Yep. I've got to call it Boonesville now because I've watched that back multiple times and it cracks me up every single time. I also said Boonesville, Mississippi in one of the takes, which is also hilarious. There's a great outtake. I can't remember the name of the guy.
Planned.
What's that?
These were all planned.
Yeah, 100% planned. I don't screw up ever. But yeah, we were down in Boonville, Missouri, hanging out at the CMMG HQ. Mike was courteous enough to unlock the door for us instead of kicking us off the property and calling the cops. And we had a really good time. The whole idea behind this collaboration with CMMG and Tundra was to go down there and do the worst interview of all time on purpose, believe it or not. And I think we achieved that goal. I would like to know, Mike, from your perspective as a guy from CMMG, I don't want to call you not a content creator because you definitely are. You've definitely created a lot of content for CMMG and for yourself. But as a guy who's not making his living as a content creator, when we approached you with this idea of doing the worst interview of all time, I want to know what your initial thoughts were, and most specifically, I would like to know why you said yes.
In which order?
Either one, however you think it's more entertaining.
All right, let's go back to the questions again.
You know what? Actually, that explains everything right there. No, I'm kidding.
As far as what I thought of it being like the worst interview, I just figured it. I figured it would just play off as a regular interview in this case, because of who you were interviewing.
Sure.
It was just naturally going to be be the worst interview.
Hey, perfect. You were right on board with us from the get-go. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
And as to why,
well put.
honestly, I've been, I haven't been like an official member of the Tundra Nation, but I've definitely subscribed to your channel for quite some time.
You
And,
are. You know what?
honestly, you just cracked me up, man.
I appreciate that.
So
Thank
I
you.
was like, the opportunity to play along and have some fun, it just was an opportunity I couldn't say no to.
I will just from a little pay no attention to the man behind the curtain here. I'll give you a little not perspective, but I'll give you a little insight as to like what you just said and like how that affects a content creator. I've never had somebody from the industry tell me that they actually watch my videos consistently and have been subscribed for a long time, and B, think they're actually funny. So I appreciate you saying that. That makes me feel happy. And that's also
You're
why
talking to the wrong people then.
apparently I am. Well, actually, no, I lied. You know, Zeke Stout. Yeah, so Zeke is
not personally, but I know who he is.
But Zeke is another one who's right there on board. He's actually kind of my next target for this whole thing, to go down and say hi to him at the MGS school and see if we can't get a little tour of that to have some fun. But yeah, no, that's really cool of you to say. I appreciate that. I don't want this to make it sound like this is like a giant back patting fest or anything, or something a little bit more nefarious or disgusting.
Tyler's used to the very polite, we appreciate what
Exactly.
you do.
Exactly.
We appreciate what you do.
But we'll have to pass.
I definitely have an appreciation for what he does, because just watching the behind the scenes stuff, going, okay, there's a lot of thought that goes into this. So
Sure, we showed up like a 4-page
I don't want to
script.
shed too much light behind the curtain, but yeah,
please.
He is quick-witted, but not as quick as you think.
That is why I have Steve around.
Just how garbage is Tundra when
Oh,
it comes
God.
to shooting guns.
Oh, you broke
Oh,
something.
Like a
we've got-
five-year-old with a red
we've got
eye,
hold on,
man.
hold on.
gorilla with air
Real quick,
from
real quick.
Pulsenet of the Apes.
Give me a
We
second.
have
We
to
got
know it's
TTS
for
going.
science.
All right, we've got a question coming in, text to speech from Roboman. He would like to know from you, Mr. Mike of CMMG fame, how bad is Tyler at shooting guns? Just how garbage is Tyler when it comes to shooting guns? Is it like a 5-year-old with a Red Ryder or a gorilla with an AR from Planet of the Apes? We have to know. It's for science. So we did spend some time on the range. Unfortunately, the weather was a little poor and we didn't have a ton of time. It was literally machine gun shooting machine guns, which was actually kind of fun, to be perfectly honest. But you got to see me shoot a little bit. Your thoughts? Actually, excuse me. Let's play into the bit. You got to see my AI doppelganger shoot guns, because of course I don't shoot guns. that would
I
completely.
didn't see that AI doppelganger hit a single target either.
Dang it. You know what? We really gotta upgrade that AI to get like an accuracy package or something like that. We gotta pay extra a month for that.
Then we enter the uncanny valley and nobody will truly believe it's you.
That's actually
You
a
have to
good
have
point.
air. It's like the Japanese philosophy that great art comes with a small error in it.
I love how you're like the cultural center
Did you say
of
a
the
small
Tundra
amount of
Nation.
hair?
Okay, yeah, I feel like that's a little mean. Because yeah, that's okay.
Or a small amount of the expected great air. Either way.
So, like I said, folks, this was very impromptu. We did not plan this at all tonight. I called Mike literally 40 minutes ago and be like, hey, are you doing anything? Can you drop all your plans for a Saturday night and come on the show with me? And he graciously
I
said
was
yes.
literally just finishing a movie and about to fall asleep in my chair.
Hey,
Oh,
that was
important
yeah.
question. What movie?
Oh,
Sound of Freedom.
The Sound
okay.
of Freedom. And
I haven't
how
seen
did
it.
you like it?
I haven't seen
It's definitely an eye opener.
Sure.
Okay.
It's just it's exposes stuff that a lot of people don't want to admit goes on in the world. So it was definitely an eye opener.
Haven't seen
Swamp
it.
Dog.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's an intense movie.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
is. I have not seen it yet. Where's it streaming on?
I actually purchased it on Vudu.
Okay, perfect. Well, I might have to look into it. As long as it gets a good review from my boy Mikey, I can check it
It's
out.
pretty solid though. The next one in my queue is Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Okay.
yep. I haven't seen that one yet either. Is that
And I
out
gotta-
on out of like on streaming services now,
On
or are we
something,
still
yeah.
waiting?
It's on something.
I do have it on Vudu, so it is
Okay.
it is on certain pay streaming services right now. I think it might even be on like Paramount already or something too. But
Sick.
it's you're gonna have to mark out 3 hours to be able to sit down and watch that one.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's quite the movie, as I've heard. Well, back to the CMMG shoot. Let's start off with day one. We show up to your door. We show up about 10 o'clock. He's already been there working for God knows how long. We kind of casually stroll up and say, Mike, I need you to drop what you're doing and cater to us for the next 10 hours.
Day one was Shakespeare's Pizza.
Oh, okay. That's right. Day one was actually Shakespeare's Pizza. I got to tell you that you did message me that I'm going to have the best pizza of my entire life when I come down to Columbia, Missouri, which is, in fairness, like I've never heard of Columbia, Missouri being like Pizza Central before. So I was expecting the same thing that I get whenever I visit a small to medium size town or city and go to get hosted by somebody.
I mean, let's face it. Anytime you go anywhere, somebody's like, "Oh, you got to check out this pizza
Exactly.
place," and everybody always has their favorite
Sure.
pizza place.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're usually pretty darn good. Sometimes they suck shit through a straw. Sometimes they're decent, and sometimes they're pretty good. But I've never had somebody actually tell me that I'm going to have the best pizza of my entire life, and then actually have the best pizza of my entire life, which I absolutely did. Mike, would you care to explain to the chat what did Dave Portnoy give it? Oh my God. That'd be actually really good to get Dave down there to review that pizza. But Mike, tell us about the pizza, and then we'll get to the guns.
Simply put, I mean, I don't even really know how to describe what they do with the crust, but the crust at Shakespeare's Pizza is just absolutely incredible.
It's something different, man.
Yeah, I ordered meat lover's pizza, but the trick is I haven't put their pepper jack cheese on it, which just adds an extra bit of flavor to it and creaminess that just
Okay.
it does. It just sets it off.
Hadn't thought of that. Yeah, I like pepper jack too.
It was chef's kiss good. Let's go into what people are actually tuning in for, because once again, if you guys are just joining us, we have Mike from CMMG. He's the Sandman 762 guy in the upper right hand corner of your screen. Mike, wave to the fans. You just did. Well done. You predicted what I was going to say. So Mike's here from CMMG. We went down to CMMG last weekend, and we're going to be covering a little bit about what we did. I want to get it from Mike's perspective, because I can tell you all day, like, hey, we saw this machine, and hey, I dropped a receiver, and hey, I almost got Mike fired for leaving a serialized item out on the floor unattended.
How about that?
Was there any fallout from that?
No. Once
thank
we
God.
realize we're like, oh, it's Tyler doing Tyler shit, then
Yes. It's like, okay, forgivable, but let's try not to have that happen again. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was super embarrassed. Like when I heard that conversation going on out of earshot or just out of earshot, I was like, oh fuck. I was like, yep, that's me, and I ran down the stairs to go get
That was
it.
like our chief operating officer. that
Yes,
actually
yeah. I
asked
mean,
about
not
that
a,
too, so-
yeah, no big deal, no big deal, right?
Not just some rando walking around.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that was
one of the guys
like-
with the parking.
It was like
space with his
literally my
name on it.
boss's boss.
Yep.
so-
Yeah, he has a parking space with his name on it, and he was like, "Who left this serialized item lying around?" And as a former compliance guy, like I know how important that is to maintain and keep track of all that shit. So yeah, my bad on that one, CMMG. But I didn't do it again. I learned my lesson. Outside of the initial debacle of leaving serialized receivers, even though it was a blem, but it's still serialized. Outside of that, we had a lot of fun inside of the actual studio. Like I said, the whole idea of this interview was to do something to the effect of like a Zach Galifianakis Between Two Ferns-esque inspired type of like horrible interview, and I think we achieved our goal. I went back and I watched on the plane ride home. I watched a lot of the footage, and it's very entertaining. Even the outtakes, we'll have a lot of great outtakes from this. And I have to say, I know that you were a little little critical of yourself when we were like sitting down and talking by Frank the wiener, right?
Right.
We'll get into that later. Frank the wiener's in the background, and we're sitting down. We're trying to figure out like how to get this bit out, and Mike was being a little critical of himself. Some of your responses to that, man, are so hilarious. Like, they're not usable for the actual video, because I immediately crack up and start breaking. But for the outtake reel, it's gonna be fucking gold, man. It's gonna be absolute gold. And you're not a YouTuber if you're not double dipping your content, at least double dipping, if not triple or quadruple. So we get to the place CMMG about 10 o'clock. Mike opens the door, and we immediately pretty much start filming. We didn't have, we weren't like short on time, but at the same time, we only had like 2 days to get a lot of content done. Like Mike said,
we economical with your time.
Yeah, exactly. And we had to be respectful of the other people's times that we were using up, like Mike's here. So we get down there, we start having fun pretty much immediately. We go up, we start the game plan. I think the first thing that we filmed, we filmed just the actual walkthrough, like what you would do normally for like a real YouTuber or, some important person that walked in. I do have to say, I had no idea the scale at which you guys were operating at. Obviously, CMMG is not a small company. It's something that
a lot
pretty
of
much
people think we are still really small.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's just because so many of these companies, you don't realize how small they are, and you're surprised by it. And then so when you get somebody and it's like, oh no, they actually have a lot of stuff. It's like, oh, okay. It actually should meet my expectations.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things too, is it's there's just so much stuff behind the scenes that, I mean, we've been in business for, 22 years now. So it's just, we've found all the little shortcomings in running the business, and we're like, okay, how can we improve the efficiency here? And which a lot of that is, the simple answer is bring it in house.
Sure. And that's a lot about what we talked about is, the transition from things like you working with Black Rifle, moving into CMMG, and all of the different kind of associations that CMMG has in that surrounding area, and how linked they are to that local community, which is fantastic. Like the stuff that you guys do, not for the local community, but with, and the partnerships that you guys have are really, really cool. And seeing, you're talking about the brothers that own the place, and their other endeavors and things like that kind of being linked into CMMG, and over the course of, the years, how certain companies have kind of been absorbed into that. Exactly what you were bringing right there is just bring it in-house, make it more efficient, and have some fun. Plus you were, the big thing that was impressive to me was the expansion that you guys were talking about, essentially almost doubling your square footage on the floor space that you have. You get in, without obviously going into too much detail, you get in to CMMG and you see this massive floor space. It's not unbelievably huge, but it's not tiny either. You could easily play a couple of football games inside of there and have some fun. But we get in, we start seeing all of these machines and all this stuff. Like, I don't understand the machining process. I get the basics of it, but I'm not a CNC guy. I'm not a 3D printer. I'm not a smart man. So all the shit that you told me went right over my head, but I will tell you, it was really, really cool to watch. And easily my favorite part from that first little tour that you gave us was that big robot arm that was doing the barrels. Can you talk about that? Okay, sure. Talk to us a little bit about the machinery that you guys use, where the quality for CMMG comes from out of the kind of the start to finish process, from the machines to the end product.
Well, I mean, simply put, we've brought in a lot more machines over just the last 3 or 4 years. We started doing, like a lot of AR manufacturers, we had, forging companies and machining companies that, like, okay, we would order a lower receiver or X part from a business partner that would make it to our specs. So we would give maybe slightly different dimensions or something of that sort. Well, there's so much back and forth between that we bought a small little machine that we could do lowers on, and we started doing lowers in house, and we're like, oh, this is definitely the way to go. And we didn't buy the right machine. We need something bigger that does more.
Sure.
So we brought a really big machine in that starts doing lowers. Fun thing was, before the factory expansion, We actually had to put a new door in the building just to get that machine in the
Yeah.
building.
I do remember you telling me these machines, guys, are humongous. Like, I'm sure there's somebody out there like me that's not like they don't understand the actual process, or they understand it, but they don't get to see it very often.
You ever seen in movies, like whenever you're at like a car crusher, or like lot those gigantic forklifts that they have? Like, it took 2 of those to bring these machines in.
Jesus.
Wow.
So, I mean, if that kind of puts it into perspective, like I'm sitting like in my office space looking over the railing, and I'm just like, holy crap, that is the biggest forklift I've ever seen. And they're using 2 of them to bring this thing in. So when we got,
I can relate a little bit. We have definitely been like, oh yeah, we'll get this thing in here, and then we get this piece of machinery, and we're like, oh, there's a door problem. I'd be like, can we tip this on its side? No, you can't. Okay,
just to quantify here, Mike, have I told you what Scotty does? Scott works for a holster company, or owns a holster company called
and they don't
Precision
like
Holsters.
weapon lights, right?
That's true. Okay, so we have talked about this before. Awesome. So we've kind of got the little basic background of CMMG, the machining process. Like I said, that robot arm was dope. Watching that thing work.
So the robot arm is actually our newest machine. It's a barrel cell. So it basically just takes raw steel. A robot grabs it, pours it, chambers it, button rifles it. So 3 different stages. And then
so it's like 3. It's separate machines that this arm's like basically moving this thing through.
Correct.
So it's a robotic arm in the center of it, and so it'll put like 2 barrels in one machine, and then as soon as those are done, it'll take those to like stage 2, grab 2 fresh blanks or pieces of steel, put them in stage 1, and they'll move. Certain stages take longer than others, so then it'll like move those 2 to a staging place while it loads more, and then it's constantly just cranking out. Like, I think it's like I can't remember how. Roughly every 3 to 5 minutes, it's cranking out like a couple barrels.
That's awesome.
So
That was one of the bigger. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know there's a lot of people out there who always kind of their first instinct is to kind of shit on machinery, to be like, oh, why not get a guy to do that? And I understand, like, after working in around like some of these machines, it's like, man, the safety factor that you can have of just having a robotic arm do it, and just have guys, like, I can hire 2 guys that can feed this machine and take things away, QA it, rather than having one guy
that's an interesting take. I've never thought about that. Like, you can essentially create more jobs by having a machine come in, because
operating those machines and being like in that hazardous distance is so, I mean, it's the liability on them is incredible. And I'm sure even just being around the arm is probably dangerous because of how strong it is. But like I love this push into technology to run these kind of things like this, because you save lives. You really do save lives, and increase production.
Oh, Mike, so you just got a very nice compliment.
Oh my.
Mike, this is coming from Wheelchair Tactical. He says, is it just me, chat, or does Mike sound like if Kevin Smith was cooler and did guns instead of movies? That's tough, man. Like,
that's a good compliment. Yeah. I like it.
I appreciate that. I used to be a big Kevin Smith fan until I saw him go way off the rails the opposite direction.
Sure.
Me too.
You can kind of see it, Cushion says. Hey, okay, so we talked about the walkthrough. We've talked a little bit about what we did in the studio. We're not going to cover that too much unless you really want to. I think everyone's kind of chomping at the bit to hear about what we shot on the range, and a little bit about...
You're steering the boat. I'm just helping you out here.
Fair enough. So we skip on over to day number 2, and it was a bit of a late start again, like a 10 o'clock start. There was some logistical things that kind of delayed us a little bit.
So we have to wait till certain people are good and ready.
Yep, right. But there was actually kind of a very cool side benefit to that, and you're gonna have to help me with the name, or Steve, pull out the business card that we got. Reed, yes, yeah. So we got to sit there and talk with Reed for a good little while. And I've got to tell you,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you with him.
No, absolutely not. That was one of the more this dude could straight up, like, I know he's very adverse to anything social media wise and all that stuff. But he could literally just walk on to the Tundra team and just start writing golden content for us. His sense of humor is like my just cup of tea. It was perfection. So Reed, if you ever watch this, I appreciate that goofy handshake you gave me and all of the other fun stuff. That was kind of like the side benefit.
Witness to that, but I can only assume what.
Oh, there were some sweet touches going on behind the scenes. But anyways, we got to chat with Reed for a little while as we were kind of getting everything together. But let's rewind it back to the beginning of the day when we got back onto the floor and you had a little blue container to show me. We walk up to the blue container and I know
blue container.
Yeah.
Like, you went to CMMG.
Yes, exactly. That was beautiful. That's actually, you guys should do that. That's a bit. That is 100% a bit for you guys to do. I'd be happy to participate in that too if you ever bring that to fruition. We get to this little blue container and Mike's, he's kind of prepped me up. Steve has already seen inside of this container. He knows what we're going to be seeing, but they both kept me in the dark. I thought we were just going to pick up like a box of ammo or something. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. Like a temperature controlled environment. This is where they keep their ammo, humidity controlled.
Sure.
Excuse me. And then all of a sudden Steve goes in this thing and Mike's like, wait a second, just wait. Steve's got to get the camera set up. I'm like,
I love it because Steve goes in it, and now I've got a department head of like lower standing right there. He goes, "Was that guy supposed to go in there by himself?"
Yeah. That's my favorite part about this whole thing is like everyone, they were all super cool that we were there, but they were also like, if this guy wasn't with Mike, we'd probably shoot him.
Right. Tackle.
Yeah.
At first, I think that. I mean,
well, they tackle you. They'd probably shoot me because I have a very, I have a very.
I would speak Missouri to them.
I have a very shootable face. I have a very shootable face.
We got a new one here too. We got cocaine manufactured machine guns.
I was gonna leave that one up to you if you wanted to respond to it or not. But yes, I don't think that is actually what it says. Long story short, we get back to the blue box and the doors are opened and it was like the scene from freaking Pulp Fiction. Open the case and it's the gold light shining upon the, and I gazed upon, I didn't look, I was lost in this game.
Majesty.
Holy,
your focus actually went to where it should have quicker than I expected it to, because there's a little bit of just crap as you get into the container.
Sure. It's a little bit of a diversion.
Yeah, but you immediately went right to where your eyes were supposed to be going.
I'm very happy that I satisfied that requirement because holy shit, the first thing that I see is like a metal rack of shelves, right? And on the very top shelf, there's not one, there's not two, there's not three. I think there were 4 240s. There were 3 or 4. Yeah, there were 3 or 4s on the top shelf. Then I found like 4, or no, it was 2 M60 E6s, a bunch of RPDs, which unfortunately we couldn't shoot. I was really bummed about that one. The RPD is like a bucket list gun, so maybe next time, if I'm invited back down. There was 2, not 1. Sorry, I'm getting choked up by remembering it.
You get choked up about it. It's not 1, but 2.
Yes, not 1, but hey, Cozy. Thank you very much, Emily, for the raid. You are an absolute legend, and we're happy to have you here. I hope your stream was well. We walk in, and like I said, there's not 1 MP7, but the massive big dick energy flex of 2 MP7s just sitting there. These aren't, okay. I've got to stop you like everything here right now because I have like the thing that shocked me the most out of all of this. It wasn't the guns. It wasn't the guns. It was, how do I say this? Not the condition of, but like just how normal everything looked in there, right? Like it's just a blue container. It's just, it's got temperature control. It's got everything that it needs. But we walk in and we see just some of the coolest guns. Actually, no, the coolest guns I have probably ever come across in my life. And they're just sitting there. They're not in a case. They're not, like everything about it is just normal.
They're not safe queens that are like
exactly like you can tell they're getting used.
These things are being used and
it's like walking
abused, but they are being taken to the range and and definitely worked over and fixed. And,
Function test good.
Yes.
It's like walking into your favorite dive bar and Nick Cage, Tom Hanks, and Christoph Waltz are just sitting at the bar hanging out. And you're like,
and you
what
find
the fuck?
John Leguizamo out puking in the back. Like, I don't know.
Leguizamo's, yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
Leguizamo to that?
Yeah, you know, I felt like it was I felt like Steve was going for an eclectic group there. John Leguizamo's an eclectic actor. And he's also very funny. So I feel like he'd be a good drinking buddy, and he'd probably be puking out in the back alley.
We were talking about him the other day too.
I think we were. Anyway, so we get into this container, we see everything, and I literally just like I was vibrating. I couldn't stand still. Like I couldn't film anything because my hands were shaking. It was not something that I could control either. Like I was so unbelievably excited for the prospects of that day that I just sat there and I had to take a minute. I had to take a minute, folks, and compose myself and figure out how the fuck am I going to deal with all of this. I was not prepared. I thought we were going to shoot no, motherfucker. Who did that? Which one of you did that? Robo Man. Suck it. Anyways, I get in here, I start vibrating, and I literally had to be like, Mike, I got to stop filming for a second. Steve, we got to stop filming for a second. Like, I've got to compose myself. Because I was told about certain guns. I was not told about other guns that I found. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details of the inner workings of the machine gun vault at CMMG here, but let's just say there's a lot of fun to be had. And the great news is we did get to have a good bit of that fun. We had an MP7 out of the motherfucker.
Penguin.
The new high music works. Holy shit, Electric Cowboy is really loud. Thank you very much.
So that only goes into his, I guess.
Oh yeah. That only goes into mine. If I do this, 'tis the season to clap some cheeks. Get right fucking nerd. Your mom's a hoe. If I do that, then you can hear it.
A quick question,
got a chuckle out of that.
Relevant to this topic is what other HKs? We got HK enthusiasts in the crowd.
Sure. We had 2 HKs on the line. We had the MP5, just a standard MP5. You did have a couple of cool ones. We've got
a couple MP5s. We had an MP5K, MP5 SD.
Yep. And we just opted for the normal one because I'll be very honest with you. I just said, Mike, I don't give a shit anymore. Like after I saw this room, the first thing
I thought you said we opted for the normal one, meaning the MP7.
Well, true, but so Mike and Steve can confirm this. I was so unbelievably excited for this range day. I couldn't conduct myself in a normal professional fashion. So the only thing that I could think to ask Mike as soon as I walked in is say, which ones can we shoot? And your response pretty much was all of them.
All of them.
And
which ones can you carry?
Yeah, exactly. And and I immediately responded up with, Mike, you'll have to excuse me for 5 minutes. I need to go change my pants. Because holy smokes, that day we had out on the range, we had the Beast, we had the was it the Banshee in 5.7?
Yep.
Okay, we had the Beast, which is the original mutant, or not the OG. Was it that one that we shot?
It was not the OG.
Okay, so it was just
it was its replacement.
Gotcha. So we shot
better looking
there you go. But you affectionately call it the Beast. So we got to shoot that, which is the mutant or the Mark 47.
reason we call those the Beast is because of how much abuse we put through those things,
and you just
shrug it off.
Holy shit, man! You guys do. Cushion can nod to this after seeing you guys run that thing at the IV shoot. But yeah, we've got the Beast. Yeah. We got a 249 out there, which I hope it got looked at. Or I hope somebody gave it the old seal of approval. That was actually pretty impressive of Mark to be like, hold on, I got this. But we had the MP5, MP7, 249. We had a Thompson. We had the Banshee in 5.7. We had we had the did we have the Descent out there? No, we didn't have the Descent out there. We had a Mac 90 AK, and the only reason I know that is because Fit and Fire just tagged me in a post about it today on Instagram. What else did we have, Steve?
P90.
We had the
Oh yeah, the
we had the
P90.
45, and then the suppressed 45.
Oh, that gun was sweet. Yeah.
That was
the Glock switch, the Chicago special, as I call it, in the video. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That thing was surprising. That was my first time ever successfully getting to run. Like, I've had imitation Glock switch guns before, like where, you know, like something's been done to the trigger or whatever. You know, obviously it's part of an SOT, folks. Don't worry about it. But I've never actually gotten one that's worked very, very well. I watched the difference between you and me shooting that gun. It's what the fuck? You're an alien. Dude, he shot this gun like it was nothing. Granted, you probably shot it quite a bit, and it was my first time shooting it.
Recoil is subjective after a while. It's like people will ask me all the time online. They're like, "Well, how's the recoil on this gun?" I'm like, "I shoot the damn thing all the time." So
I've actually got recoil is additive. That's what that gun taught me. It's very additive. That gun took me from hunching over, nose over toes, to standing fucking vertical before I could get 30 rounds out of the barrel. And I didn't let go, but I can almost promise you I sent at least one over the berm. That gun put me into fucking orbit, dude. The only other gun that's ever done that, by the way, is also from you guys, and that was the full auto 458 SOCOM. Which
that's one of the few that actually pushed me around a little bit. That
gun is easily, it's not even close, it's easily the most bananas gun. Why is my hype train music? Oh no, it just ended, excuse me. It's easily the most bananas gun I've ever shot in my entire life, and that's coming from somebody who had the Chaytek team roll through their gun shop at one point, and I got to shoot the initial run of M200s. I got to shoot like 60 rounds out of it, which previously was my coolest gun that I've ever shot until I shot that 458 SOCOM full auto from you guys. Never thought I'd do that, and I think I'll have probably a better chance of shooting a M200 again in 408 than I will that gun naturally. But now that I know you, it could happen. So we finally get out to the range, right? We've got all the guns now. We finally get out to the range, and we end up having a good time. Obviously, as you do when you play with machine guns. But because I have been so excited this entire time, I've been machine gun talking, I'd like to let Steve take over for a little while and talk about day 2 and what happened at the actual range. Steve, take it away, buddy.
Well, I mean, the best part about the range day, in my mind, was, first of all, the facility that CMMG has for its range for both product testing, I assume, and just other corporate events is immaculate, and it's how you would build a personal range,
dude.
It's how you would build a personal range for yourself if money was no object. It's exactly what you want. Steel out several hundred yards, beautiful facility, tucked away, off in the beaten path a little bit, but not too crazy. What I loved about it was, basically the course of the day, we had about 2.5 hours to get the shooting footage,
Always fun.
And what we ended up doing was the sort of strangest fire brigading of loading firearms to hand to the people who were shooting. And
it was an efficient system.
It was very efficient, and
pretty much any range day I ever go to.
Yeah.
It's like pretty much any range day I ever go to. It's like, crap, they need loaded magazines.
Yeah, Mike was definitely our Sherpa through this, like, let's
100%.
just load things up and get going. And then just between you and Mark having some machine gun fun, we were able to do some really fun side-by-side shooting with the products CMMG has, and what we'd call sort of the classics of the genres. Sure. So if you've ever wanted to see a fully auto,
love you,
Thompson, Emily, go up against a suppressed 45 caliber modern PCC.
Stay tuned.
You're gonna get that, and I'm gonna tell you the sound both of them make is glorious, but the sound of that suppressed 45, I kept telling you to play it over and over again when we got back.
I completely forgot it was out there, and at one point I was like over on the other side, and I was like, "What the hell are they shooting?" And I was like, "Oh
it
yeah,
was
we bought this
beautiful.
Press 45."
It was just
Missed,
perfect.
missed shorts
It
all around. Yeah.
it's how you would
Ooh.
want it. Just it sounds exactly how you'd want like a
Sure.
range day, machine gun day to go. What I
Can I
really
interject
enjoyed,
for 2 seconds just to
Sure, show, baby.
clarify something for the chat? Guys, we need to give Steve a round of applause here. Give him a round of applause. I'm going to tell you why we're giving him a round of applause. Is this man very graciously said, "Don't worry, I don't need to shoot machine guns today. I'm just going to film you." So, Steve, thank you very much for being the ultimate bro as a camera guy, and taking one for the team. At the end of this whole discussion, not discussion, but this little chat, I'm kind of curious to see Mike's answer to this question. You don't have to answer this now. You might have to make a phone call, but I would love it, Mike, as a way of saying thank you, if Steve got to maybe return at one point in time in the near future and maybe have a little fun with you. So
I'm just going to take Mike out
we're
drinking.
trying to work something out.
And
Fair
who
enough,
knows
fair
what
enough.
trouble we could get into.
He's an absolute mega Chad for this. I just wanted to make sure that the chats knew this. We're live on both YouTube and Twitch right now, so know this about the Tiger Stripe guy in your bottom left hand corner. He's an
Smartest
absolute
man
legend.
among us. Yeah.
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
Steve, continue on.
Legend.
Sorry.
That is not a high bar.
Yep. Tripping hazard in hell.
That is like the fastest sloth. That is where
fastest
no one's sitting around timing us for our.
We did just
genius
make a
or our
joke about
speed.
the math section of the SATs in the most recent video that's coming out tomorrow, by the way.
True. No. So what I really found impressive, like this is about, I would put this to everything at CMMG. What I found impressive is everything there is just so. You can see the thinking and well thought out nature of everything. I'm sure Mike could say it doesn't feel that way sometimes because you're building this amazingly growing company as things move on. But like from the outside, you can see the purposeful thought that has gone into everything, and especially as not just the production facility, but just that gun range weirdly tells me like a lot more about the company than the production
Agreed.
facility. That might sound weird, but like
Nope.
You
Agreed
know,
completely.
we've all been to a gun range that is sort of a communal space, even if it's owned by a private club or something. And it's not always, the place was immaculate. Every tool you could possibly need to maintain or fix a gun on the fly or deal with some, I would say minor problems at the range is there. It's well cared for.
Yep.
And I think that was weirdly the thing that impressed me the most. I know that sounds like strange, like given that we were shooting all this great stuff and we saw these massive machines, but like that's a cultural thing you don't see in a lot of places where there's like a pride in what they do. And
Yeah, a lot of gun ranges you end up going to, even if they're owned by a company, where it's just like in most cases, it's honestly not a bad thing, but it's that, or it's like a sand pit or something. And this was a full-on, well-built facility with HESCO barriers, earth berms behind.
You could have a wedding out there.
Yeah,
that's how nice it was.
You really could. It had a club. It has a clubhouse, a hangout house. All of the lanes are covered. They have a little, kind of like bridge zone in between the two bays. It's fantastic, and I do think that Steve, you win the question, or you win the comment section by bringing that up. Okay, I can't say that. Clayton, sorry. Please make sure to tell him what we think of that. Hold on. Clayton says, Scott Sr. is also a good cameraman as well as Michael. I'm nominated for the Gundies. Yes, I am.
Hey.
I'm not really promoting it all that much. As much as I love everybody associated with the Gundies, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people dislike the Gundies. I do not. I just don't think I ever really have a chance for the the categories that we're in right now, because my competition is Brandon Herrera, the Fat Electrician, Garand Thumb. So vote to your heart's content. If I get a nomination, if I get an invite to go out there, fan-freaking-tastic, and I appreciate the hard work. If I don't, I'm not going to let it bum me out anymore. So, Dr. Catmilk had something for me that I had to cover as well. Unfortunately, I know, I'm trying to find it. Catmilk wanted me. He wanted to ask what the Thompson's RPM was. Very slow. It was like grease gun slow, and I'm actually very curious as to if it was like somehow aftermarketly rate limited. The reason I'm curious about this is one of the gun shops I used to work at we had a full auto Thompson to rent out. I think it was an OG 1928, a 1, I believe. And that thing ripped, man. That thing sent it at like 650, 700 or something akin to that. This one it reminded, and this is not necessarily a shot against it or anything. I'm not like saying like, oh man, your machine guns, man, they suck. It was just shocking to me that it was such a slow rate of fire Thompson. It was it was like a grease gun almost to that point. I told you when you
go ahead. I told you when you grabbed it, I was like, you have to hold the magazine into it or good. I mean,
would you care to know? I didn't listen to a fucking word you said.
We use has been shot.
Yeah. Would you care to know? I didn't listen to a fucking word you said, and Steve had to remind me to hold the magazine because I was like, this thing ain't shooting for me right. What's going on?
Which is ironic because that is the first time I've touched a Thompson in my life. In fact, I was so noob to the Thompson, Mike had to show me where the mag release on it was because it was not instinctive to me.
Here's a question for you, Steve.
There's not much instinctive on a Thompson, honestly. It's not ergonomic. It's not instinctive.
It's heavy as hell.
The two instinctive things are this in toward enemy, pull this to make it go back.
Correct. You don't even got to shoulder the damn thing because if you do, that length of pull is super long if you're an average size human being.
It's a chin weld, not a cheek weld.
Exactly. Steve, I'm actually curious to hear your opinion about something with that Thompson. What was the actual, like, not the loading the rounds into the magazine, but loading the magazine into the gun? How'd that go? Did you get a chance to do that?
Yeah, it was. I think Mike hit it best. Nothing about that feels ergonomic.
Could you imagine being on the beaches of Normandy and trying to reload?
No, because I don't think I would have made it onto the beach. The damn thing would have sunk me to the bottom because it felt like holding a cast iron pipe.
Dude, I feel like it weighs the same amount or more than a Garand does. It probably weighs more.
Probably does.
I'd be curious.
Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up.
It's not light.
I mean,
yeah, 14 pounds might be a little much. I'd say 10, 11 pounds.
Fully loaded, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, fully loaded. That'd be a big thing.
The favorite thing...
It's definitely better than a BAR, Penguin. You are correct. There's not much worse than a BAR.
10 pounds. 10 pounds empty.
What's the Garand's weight? I'm curious as to this. The submachine gun being heavier than the
9.5 pounds.
It's fucking heavier! What were we thinking?
Ridiculous.
And we still kick the Germans' asses. Hey, you love to see it. America, folks. Anyways, we get to the range. We're having fun. Steve, take it away and continue on with your train of thought. I almost took over again.
No, you're fine. I mean, honestly,
Also,
the
question for CMMG.
Sorry, we're getting TTS.
In 50 Beowulf or 277 Fury. Or some other really dumb Wildcat calibers.
Some dumb Wildcat caliber. Okay, we got a good question
Tundra,
coming
the
up.
Thompson weights more than an M1 Garand.
Thank you, Roboman. Roboman answers our question by saying the Thompson does, in fact, weigh more than the M1 Garand. I'm just waiting for the transcript of the TTS. This was in Pedro Pascal's AI-generated voice. Also a question for CMMG. It's not a real question, Mike. Don't worry about answering it. It's from one of us. Also a question for CMMG. Are they planning on doing anything in 50 Beowulf or 277 Fury? Or something other really dumb Wildcat calibers like that? Also, Tundra, the Thompson weighs more than the M1 Garand. Any plans to do anything in 277 Fury with the government taking an interest in that, or 50 Beowulf?
I'm simply going to say you never know what we're going to do next.
That is a fair point, honestly.
I mean, we're always coming up with, people ask us all the time, why'd you do this? Why not?
Because we can.
Honestly, when we first started doing the 5.7s, we kind of had that be a special, like a limited edition. We're like, we don't know if anybody's going to buy this damn thing. So we made the 5.7. And when we released it, we just, kind of ramped up a very small number, and it went crazy. We're like, that's now a production model.
We were not prepared for this.
Right.
I do have a good question for you as well. I did have somebody in the shop. I have an ammo shop as well. They came in asking for 350 Legend.
Ooh, yeah. I know you guys do 350 Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I saw the ammo in the shop. I saw 224 Valkyrie in the shop too. Robo Man.
I
saw
hold on,
224
hold on.
Valkyrie
No,
in the
I'm
shop.
nipping this in the bud
What?
right now. What you saw were
No,
some reloads of
no,
224
no,
Valkyrie.
no.
in the back
If you
next to a
recall,
couple other boxes of
yep.
224 Valkyrie.
There was 90 grain
It's
federal
dead, Tyler.
SMKs there. They were doing it. There might
Where are
be
you talking
something.
about now? Us?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I can tell you our
dude,
I can tell you our retired cartridges too.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
no,
we-
100%. It's on the retired cartridge list. But I was super pumped. I was like, oh, Roboman and Confetti are gonna love this. I saw 224 Valkyrie at CMMG, and I was gonna make the joke, be like, pay attention, 2024, something might
All
be
right.
coming. I don't know.
We were one of the first companies to have an AR
Yep.
and 224 Valkyrie.
You were.
And we were possibly one of the first AR companies to drop 224
Yep.
Valkyrie.
You were. I was actually. This is before I actually knew you, or really like knew you. I actually was trying to get a hold of one of those guns for the video that almost professionally killed me that I did associated with the 224 Valkyrie. Now, I'm still in love. The very top gun right there is my 224 Valkyrie, and it still shoots like the Dickens. I still got about 700 rounds of 90 grain SMK batch 1 from Federal. Shoots like a champ. Love it to death, but
It's your AI doppelganger that shoots it though, right?
excuse me, thank you. Actually, no, this was before AI. This is back when I still shot, but I don't do it anymore. I've passed 100,000 subscribers, man. I'm too good for
Oh, come
shooting
on,
now.
man. We can go back to war games. AI's been out for a while.
Shh, don't let them know. Anywho, we're coming up on the end of the hour. Steve, you want to wrap it all up? I almost said, Steve, can you tidy it up for me? I'm sorry I made a mess of this entire interview. Can you fix it for me, please?
All
Steve,
because of me.
wrap it up for us.
Sure, Tyler. So I think Mike. Actually, let
I
me
love
ask
you, Steve.
A different level of question. Of all the products we had out at the range that day, you've had a chance to shoot them. What is from CMMG your favorite item that we brought out to the range? Like, what could you just makes you giggle every time you shoot it?
Unfortunately, I don't think we brought the guns that make me do that.
Fair enough.
It don't matter. I think we still
Okay.
want to know what they are.
Controversy.
Can I ask a closing follow-up question to that?
Sure.
What's it like just living in a world day to day where you have access to those firearms? Like, you could just say, yeah, I'm gonna go out and go shoot. I'm sure there's the process that we saw, and I'm sure there's another, like, you can't just say, yeah, I'm gonna go shoot this today, or maybe you can. I don't know. But what's it like living in that world where you just have access to that kind of level of just awesome, like pure unadulterated
I am
awesomeness?
truly blessed to live the life that I'm living right now. I'll tell you that. It's the coolest thing I think though is like previously if I was going to go to the range or something and say I grabbed the 249 or one of the 60s or a SAW or whatever, literally just walking through the factory carrying something belt fed and nobody bats an eye at it.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's Mike. He's going to the range.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the boss. Yeah.
Or you just like, honestly, like one of the unsung favorite parts, and Steve, I think, can probably agree to this as well, because I feel like this is his like on brand for him, is how hilarious it was that you just had linked belts in like a box somewhere randomly in the shop. You know, like we were like, all right, let's go to this box for 4.6 for the MP7. Okay, here's some 9mm Glock mags. Okay, that's great. Okay, here's some linked 5.56. Yeah, we'll take that. Like, that's just got to be one of the coolest existences of all time. And honestly, if you would have talked to me, when we first chat, or when we first started chatting, I would have been super jealous. But now you've shown me the light. You've shown me the experience of living in that world and seeing that it's possible. And I love you for it, Mikey. You're the best, bud. You are the best. And thanks for coming on the show for the first hour. We're about to wrap up hour number 1. Mike, you are absolutely welcome to stay to hour number 2. I know I sprung this on you at the very last minute, so if you do have to get out of here, please be my guest. No hard feelings. But would you like to stay around for hour number 2?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna be doing.
Unless you really want me to go.
No,
You don't have to be. You don't have to
no.
be polite,
Dude. The more I get, the more time I get to spend with you, the happier I get to be. So,
perfect. We got 40 people watching. They're ready.
Yes,
they're
we
ready
do.
to see Mike's knowledge and see how he stacks up against the experts.
I've got to get everything ready. Scotty, if you want to introduce the bit for me,
all right.
Before we do that though, one more time, I've got to give 2 big thank yous to Mike. for absolutely just being the most.
Delance in the chat, by the way.
I'm telling you
Saw
guys
that.
this right now.
Delance?
We love Delance. But I'm telling you guys this right now. Mike is not arguably, he is easily the greatest host I've ever experienced in the firearms industry.
You
Granted,
won't
we
go
haven't
away
had a
hungry.
ton, but yes, we did not walk away hungry at all.
We didn't talk about Clydesdales or any of that stuff, but I'll shut up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that maybe some other time, maybe next time we have you on, just as a fun little Easter egg. But Mike, absolute legend. CMMG, absolute legendary host. Thank you guys very much for letting me come in and crash the factory floor and disrupt production for a little bit. Hopefully I didn't cause too much damage. But my second thank you has to go to Steve here. Steve, once again, invited me into his house, introduced me to his wife, allowed me to also come in and steamroll all of his stuff. He even let me sit down at his computer, which was dangerous, but he didn't let me change anything. So maybe next time. Steve, thank you very much for having me down at the house. And also, once again, I cannot say thank you enough for your dedication to the camera on the range day. Just I wanted to get you shooting. I knew you were going to be the guy that took it for the team, and you did. So thank you very much for.
Don't worry. The invoice for the Airbnb that you stayed in and my
checks in the
time
mail. I'll hit you on the 1st, okay?
Checks in the
2
mail.
weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2
2
weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks from today.
Weeks.
Hey, Tyler.
Yes,
Since
sir.
we're adding Mike, do you need me to drop off so that we have our normal setup, or what?
No.
I can just move Mike and me to the center of the screen, but if you got if somebody, like, if there's a Spicy or a Kush or a Steve or a Scott that's got to get out of here for other stuff, you guys are free to bounce, because we do have an alternate because Mike the legend is here. But Scotty, introduce the segment for me for hour number 2, and then we'll get things rolling here. I'll get
in
Kush on.
hour 2. We do a little game called 20 questions. Now we don't limit it to 20 questions. We go until we all get it. Tyler's gonna send us some clues. He's gonna give us a set of initials, like AABB, WP.
Sorry,
that we
1
all
second.
hate.
Woo!
I know there's echo. I'm fixing it. There we go.
It's okay. And what we're gonna do is, as we go along, we're gonna go in order to ask your question. You can buzz in with your name at any point, and there's no limit to the amount of times you can buzz in. But try and be reasonable, and which
Also,
I would not be.
224
I
Valkyrie
continuously violate
in
that rule.
Tyler's words
And
from
you're
the
gonna guess
last
what you
roast
think
video.
the clue
The
is.
224
we got TTS.
Valkyrie
Yes, we got TTS
chamber
going.
inside of it. The people who SRE still trying to keep that round alive and relevant are the same people.
Shut up.
Who is this?
Robo Man?
That ska is good, and their fish
We
cover
need
band is about to
no,
make it
we just
big.
got a fish cover band reference in TTS. All right, I'm unfortunately I've got to get rid of YouTube chat for just a minute, folks. I'm still setting up the all of the browser sources. For whatever reason, Streamlabs deleted all of my previous settings, and I need to set these up manually each and every show now. So that's super annoying. But we should have
we're getting there.
A wild Uncle Cushion on the screen now. It looks like we do. And then here very quickly we'll have
And
a
I'm
spicy.
drinking tonight, boys.
I do not know if
Good.
we have any themes for this week, but we're going to have
Shouldn't be,
12 sets of questions,
Thank you, Scott.
initials here that we have to guess with 20 questions. And if there
Onesie.
is a theme, then there will be an extra bonus point that you're allowed to use to guess to get there. But Kush is the person to beat right now.
He is.
He's the master. He hasn't won in a couple weeks, but he's very competitive, and it's
Nope.
he's the one to watch out for.
Shit, sorry. I'm
What?
still working through.
I'd like to be
Newbies.
on
Bird
screen,
jellies.
please.
I'm working on it, Spicy. I'm trying, man. I'm trying, my butt. I'm trying, me boy.
I'm still here.
I know you are. I know you are. Browser source 2. We're just not even going to name them right now. I'm just putting them in there. There he is.
There he is.
Spicy's
We're
having
on
so
the
many technical
screen.
difficulties, bro. That's
It's
Yeah,
not really
Mike,
technical difficulties. It's more just I'm not used to hosting 6 total
hoc,
people on
ad
screen.
hoc.
And
Predictions.
yeah.
Chris, can you throw a prediction for us, please?
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll
That
throw
actually gives me
prediction up.
an amount of time to put YouTube's chat back up on.
There we
the-
go. We're gonna get a
screen.
prediction
Oh, I
up on the
already can't
Twitch
spell this.
stream.
Okay,
You guys are welcome to vote on who you think is going to get the most answered questions correct, because I may get them, but then I won't get the answer.
I'm
I'll-
just
I'll
gonna say
say
nobody vote for me because I'm gonna be lost for the first little bit.
no,
Fair
no,
enough.
You'll be fine.
No,
new money
you've
wins
played
at this
before.
table all the
Actually,
time.
yeah, new
No, he
money
hasn't.
wins quite often.
Wait a
so,
second,
He came
didn't
on
Mike-
for recast.
Oh, he came on for recast. That's right. I'm sorry, Mike. I thought you came onto the show before. I would have prepped you for hour number 2. Yes, we play a game. It's competitive, and it has consequences. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't. The points are made up, and nothing matters as the line goes. The topics
I'm
are
glad
made
to
up and the
see
points don't matter.
you.
Oh boy, thank you for letting us
You're
know.
here from the home studio, Mike, not Gate 17.
We may get some
What's that?
freeze framing. It's fine.
Oh shit!
Don't
Yeah,
worry
it's
about
going cray right now.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Big raid.
super hard.
big
That's a
raid.
huge raid.
It's a huge fucking raid.
That's a
Let's
huge
go.
raid.
Let's go.
Hello.
Let's
What's up, everyone?
go,
I don't
ladies
even know
and
how to pronounce
gentlemen
that name.
of all of the
coming in fucking
nations.
gun
Holy
stuff already.
smokes! Yeah, let's go, baby.
The first person I see says crap space magic.
Absolutely, one of my favorite Ian videos of all time. Thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
for that. The big raid coming in. I'm gonna see if I can say this right. Stikuyi? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm drunk at this point in time in the night, and everyone is in slideshow mode, so I apologize. But we've got 6 people on screen and backstage on Twitch, so I'm sure it's refuculating
It's Twitch
everything.
Yeah.
Anyways, to the Raiders, welcome. My name's Tyler. Hello, I'm the guy waving on screen. I do this thing called Thunder Gaming Live each and every single night of the week. Hello, motherfucker, to you as well, big dog. Or not big dog, excuse me. Who was that? I don't even know who that was at this point. But anyways,
Big fun.
big fun. Thank you.
Big fun.
You guys are the best. Sty, thank you very much for coming in. Actually, you actually said it fairly right. I'm just gonna call you Sty, or Sta, or Yuki or Kiyuki. I don't know what I'm gonna call you yet, but thank you very much for the raid. Holy shit, this is wild and
Be something
crazy.
different every time.
Yes,
Let's go.
that's 100% correct. Steve is the current odds-on favorite with 125,000 channel points. Kush right behind him with 124,000. Right now, folks, for the Raiders' benefit, we are playing a little game that we call 20 Questions Firearms-ish Edition. And I will have to apologize for everybody lagging out super hardcore on the screen. Not our fault. It's unfortunately a Streamlabs or Twitch issue right now.
It's Twitch.
But on the screen right now, I'd ask him to wave to you, but you won't be able to see him because his camera's completely frozen. Is going to be Mike Odell from CMMG fame. He's going to be joining us for the first time this evening. And we're going to be playing a little game. Like I said, 20 Questions Firearms Edition. The rules work like this. I give the panel a set of initials like A, M, P, Q, X, R, T, Z. I don't care what. And they are going to have to ask yes or no questions until they think they get it right. If they get it right, or excuse me, if they think they have it right, they're going to shout out their name. Their name is their buzzer. If they get it wrong, well, then they suck and can ask again. Unlimited asks. Don't care. We're going to party. Are you guys ready to dive
Let's do
in?
it.
Once again, thank you for the raid, my friend. Let's get a shout out for I don't even know how to say the name. I'm sorry.
I don't either.
I'm super duper sorry. I just don't know.
Stakui.
Stakui!
They should
Give it
call
some
him Stack.
verve.
What's that, Steve?
Just give it some verve and go.
Ooh, I
You
love
overthink
it.
some over
Yes.
thinking.
Rick, I do know everyone is frozen. Stack. Okay, we'll call him Stack. I like that. I like that. License to
Stack.
Thrill.
I do.
Also, I like your name too. It sounds like a Motley Crue song.
Hey, join us on Thursdays when we do movie stuff.
Okay. Yep. So everyone's gonna be frozen except for Spicy for whatever reason. Oh no, everyone's back now.
Oh man, that'd be nice. I'll take
It's
the
coming
free
and
cam.
going.
Let's go. All right, here we go, folks. 96 people watching. No pressure to anybody. Kush is the odds-on favorite, I think. Or no, I think Steve won by just 1,000, but Kush is right there.
No,
Let
I
me-
mean, to be clear, I voted for myself because I have a shit ton of channel points.
And
that I
that-
have
Oh
no idea
man,
what.
Uh-oh.
I didn't even think about that.
I'm stuffing
Oh,
the
thank
ballot
God.
box.
Okay, I have the initials pulled up and ready to go. No theme tonight. 0 theme tonight.
Oh, wow.
Which means there are no bonus points available. There are 12 sets of initials, therefore there are 12 points. Before we dive into this, Mike, do you need any clarification on the rules?
I'll figure it out as we go.
Okay, Mike,
Long
hold
story-
on.
Do
Yep.
a live.
I'm also going to send you the document that
Oh,
we
yeah.
all watch that has a bunch of questions on it that you could ask, and it helps us keep track of the yes or no answers. So
Okay.
give
Let me
one second.
know when
Send
you
that
guys
to
are set up on that. The 224
Multitask?
Valkyrie
What?
died faster than 30 Super Carry. No, it did not. No, it did not. In no way, shape, or form. There was
That feels actually
dude,
very accurate.
No,
I
no.
like it.
The only reason why I can say that unequivocally is because there was a Gen 2 version of the 224 Valkyrie about a year after it came into existence, and the 30 Super Carry was DOA.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
They effed with your caliber, and you never let that go.
Yes.
And I'm
Less
sorry
than
that
a year difference.
that big ammo hurt you and
Yeah,
touched
fuck
you in
'em.
your
No, I'm kidding.
nose.
Don't
My
fuck 'em.
feels.
But you have to
Right
let
there.
it go.
I gotta let it go. Apparently,
You
It
gotta let
was
it go. It's an AR
0.001
platform.
bigger than the last ammo. That
Oh, you're just
shut
one
up.
barrel
Shut up.
swap
All of you, just
away
shut up. Stop making
from something better.
fun of me.
I'm ready for the first.
Artos, thank you very much for the follow. Here is our first set of initials. It's going to be TB. That's Tango Bravo. TB, Tango Bravo. The order tonight is going to go Scotty, Mike, Steve, Kush, Spicy. Scotty, Mike, Steve, Kush, Spicy. You guys ready? TB,
Scotty, Mike,
Tango.
Steve, Kush, Spicy.
oh,
Correct.
no watching chat. No
Yep.
watching chat either.
Oh yeah. You can't
Google
have
is
chat.
allowed.
Quiet
Mike.
chat.
No chat, but Google is allowed.
Yes, no chat. You can't watch chat for their guesses, but Google is allowed if I give you a clue to Google. Or if you think you can Google something. TB, Tango Bravo, Scotty, kick us off. Scotty, Mikey, Steve, Kush, Spicy. Go for it.
Is it a person?
It is not a person.
Okay.
Mike, you're next.
Is it a place?
It is not a place.
Is it a firearm?
It is not a firearm either, Steve. No.
Is it an accessory?
Oh dear God. My computer might be crashing. Hold on. Holy shit. What's going on? Okay, no, I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah. We
Okay.
You did.
Good news. Is it an accessory? Is that what you said, Kush?
Yes.
No. I can't move my
Oh,
mouse
and
on
he-
my screen right now.
He might
Oh,
actually
shit.
be gone. Uh-oh.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Tyler!
Are you
It's
rendering
all.
too many videos at once? Because I feel like my computer is doing the same
It's,
thing.
am I back? Okay. Everything's smoothed out on my end. Am I back?
We hear you.
Yeah.
We hear you
Hello? Okay. You know what?
Yes.
I'm just gonna shut down. Hold on. I'm gonna reload 20 questions because I've got Chrome open right now and it's fucking with everything.
fine. Uh-oh.
Dude, get yourself an Opera browser.
I've got
to Switch. It doesn't.
Yeah,
work with Twitch.
unfortunately, is it my ex-wife? License to Thrill says. Yikes.
Tabitha.
I
Is
swear
that
to God, yeah, my OBS browser page is pulling 20 gigs of memory right now
Holy shit! What
because of all the video that I'm pulling through the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, it's now down to 17 gigs. But that would be the reason why everything's kind of chugging. If the stream randomly crashes, I will be back in a short. That's actually not a bad idea. I can you do that while you're running the stream?
You right click
Yeah, you
right
can.
click on the screen and click performance mode.
Okay, stand by. Give me a second. It's taking literally. I can't even right click on the screen. Oh my God. Going down. I was not prepared for this. Apparently, it's the no.
Hold on.
It's the Hindenburg.
About
We're burning.
his favorite machine gun that we did not bring to the range, and I'm desperate to know what that is. Say it, Mike.
Honestly, it's the AK-74U.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, I like
Forbidden
it.
communism.
When I saw the pictures, the thing that I was the most jealous about were those RPDs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
was
said
even
too.
upset
Tyler
about
said the
not
same thing.
possibly shooting.
I
I
haven't
know,
shot
I know,
those
guys.
yet,
I know,
so-
guys. It's so laggy. Okay, there is performance mode. Jesus. It's using literally 100% of my CPU right now. It's 100% of my CPU and 100% of my RAM. And I've got 32 gigs of RAM and a 8-core CPU.
56K
Get like a
internet.
leaf blower
No,
and put it
Farm
up to the back
Boy.
of your
No.
Gotta get up to that 16 core, son.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
Get yourself over on a Ryzen platform.
Apparently I need it. Give the hamster in your router more cheese. I'm working. Can somebody monitor the video right now just to confirm that performance mode may or may not have helped? I don't know if it did.
We're still all stuttery. But
Okay.
we're still live.
Of course, it's after a 77-person raid this happens. Yeah, there's
Just move forward. Just move forward.
no, I can't. I literally can't. Like, I can't do.
I have
any,
new
like,
initials for the game.
dumpster fire. DF.
Well, it's just going to be performance anxiety. Much.
Yeah. Yep.
ED.
100%.
ED, everybody.
Hey, don't you?
Your initials are
I'll
ED.
submit. I'll submit to performance anxiety, but you spread those salacious lies and rumors about me, and I'm gonna come after you. My mouse just does not. Oh, okay, hold on. That's a little bit better.
Tyler can talk all the shit he wants. He's never coming to California, so.
No, why? Why
Can
would
you blame him?
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I'm here, and I don't. I'm trying to get out.
He
I
looks
was
outside
out,
and
but
goes,
they keep
"Fuck, well, I gotta
dragging me
be
back
here."
in.
We might be up the creek, boys. I might have to go for a hard restart.
Oh, Steve crashed for a second there. For
Yep, I
his
might
end,
have
but-
to go for a hard restart, guys. I don't know if anybody in the chat can hear me. Can somebody?
We-
Good.
I'll check.
Would it help if one of us dropped off and you executed one of us? So you
Let
could
just
move forward?
yeah, Stevie, hop off for a second. I just want to see if it fixes things.
All right.
I love you. I've never let you go, Steve.
Steve, no, not Steve.
Seems like you're
It
giving him
100%
letting
worked.
him down.
It's
hurting
100%.
him.
It 100% worked. I've
right.
got my mouse back.
Move forward without me in good stead, gentlemen.
I
love
we
you
will.
all.
We will. Unfortunately,
Document
already.
again. Fuck. Okay.
yeah. Unfortunately, the browser is completely frozen, which means I might have to close. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can get this back, folks.
Ah, geeky.
I'm gonna see if I can get this back. We're gonna disable performance mode.